Have you ever watched someone yawn and instantly felt the urge to yawning too? Or winced when you saw someone get hurt even though nothing happened to you? That's not just you being emotional. It's your brain at work. In today's video on Psyc Academy, we're exploring mirror neurons, the brain cells that fire both when we act and when we observe someone else act. We'll dive into what they are, how they were discovered, what they might do, and why they matter for learning, empathy, even culture. Let's jump in. What are mirror neurons? Mirror neurons were first discovered in the early 1990s in monkeys. Researchers noticed that a certain neuron fired when the monkey grabbed a piece of food and when the monkey watched a human do the same action. In humans, we can't easily observe individual neurons, but brain imaging studies suggest a similar system exists. Brain regions activate both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing it. Put simply, your brain sometimes echoes what you see. That's why the term mirror neuron. Why does this matter? Because it opens a window into how we learn by watching, how we understand others, and how we maybe deeply connect. How they work and key evidence. Let's zoom in on key mechanisms and evidence. When you do an action, say lift your hand, motor areas of your brain light up. When you see someone else lift their hand in a familiar way, parts of your brain may activate similarly, as if you were doing it. Experiments. One famous study placed monkeys in a lab. When the monkey saw a human grab a peanut, the monkey's motor neuron fired, even though it did not move. In humans, fMRI studies show overlapping brain areas when participants execute actions and when they observe the same actions. This suggests mirror neuron systems could support observational learning by watching others. It also raises the possibility of a neural basis for empathy and social understanding. Why they matter, applications and implications. So, what do mirror neurons do for us? And why should you care? Here are 3 big implications. Learning and imitation. If your brain can simulate someone else's action internally, you're better positioned to learn by watching. This has massive implications for education, skill learning, social development, empathy, and connection. Some researchers propose mirror systems allow us to experience others' states, their pain, joy, actions, which may underlie empathy. Culture and human uniqueness. A prominent hypothesis. Our sophisticated mirror neuron systems allowed humans to rapidly imitate, teach, pass down behavior, enabling complex culture. For example, in a TED Talk, V.S. Ramachandran suggests our social brain and mirror system helped civilization advance. So next time you find yourself mirroring someone's posture, yawning when they do, or learning by imitation, thank your mirror neuron system. Limits, controversies, and current understanding. Of course, it's not all settled. The mirror neuron story is powerful, but it comes with caveats. In humans, we cannot record single neurons in the same way as in monkeys. Much of the evidence is indirect. While mirror neurons are linked to empathy in some studies, the relationship is far from fully proven. Some critics argue mirror neurons alone cannot explain complex human behaviors like language or morality. The brain is far more complex. In short, they're a fascinating piece of the puzzle, but not the whole story. Ongoing research continues to clarify their role. Let's recap. Mirror neurons are brain cells that activate both when we act and observe others acting. They underpin imitation, learning by watching, possibly empathy and our social brain. They help explain how we connect, learn, and culture emerges. But they are just one part of a much larger neural story. If you enjoyed this dive into mirror neurons, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our weekly psychology deep dives here on Psyc Academy. And drop a comment. What behavior have you noticed where you think your mirror neurons were at work? See you next time, and keep exploring the mind.